7 a.m. Kirill Petrov, the man of the house. The first thing that he does every morning is to heat the house with a wood-burning stove to keep his family warm on the ice-cold morning in Yakutia. Because of the severe climate, Kirill needs a lot of wood to heat the house for 9 months non-stop. Just like a dessert, drinking water in Yakut village is precious. There are no water treatment facilities because the pipes freeze during the long winter, so ice is the main source of water. Kirill and the villagers harvested the ice from the river in the middle of November, when the temperature was favorable to harvest the ice. Meanwhile, Kirill's wife Lyubov is making delicious and traditional breakfast, gyertyakh, whipped cream with a strawberry jam which was harvested during the summer. In Yakutia, due to the harsh climate, it's almost impossible to grow fruits and vegetables, so most of the Yakut desserts consist of dairy food. It's 7:40 a.m. and it's time for Aryan, the youngest son, to wake up.
Aryan! Dur da etnahar bolla.
Aryan is 9 years old and attends the local primary school. The children in Yakutia will go to school when it's warmer than minus 54 degrees. But when the temperature drops below minus 55 degrees, it's too dangerous to go to school. Today is relatively warm in Yakutia, only minus 40 degrees, which means Aryan must go to school. Like most people around the world, he washed his face and brushed his teeth. Aryan uses the ice-cold water that his dad prepared earlier. Breakfast. Fatty pancakes and whipped cream are high-energy food that warms you up during cold winters. Aryan's older sisters are living and studying in university far away from the village. His parents wish for him to study well so he can live his life as he wants.
Min oğlur bun haqa heriger olur ki bığıtından bardan hatıq taqud iten taharabın qasbidil beten oğlurun atem bir beten kurduk ütüyecan gınan itiqtaq ülene bölür ülene taptır cehnay ütüyanalaq jombolaq taqtar.
In Yakutia, locals understand the importance of learning the right clothing to survive in such extreme winters. It's an absolute must to wear several layers of clothing and wear insulated pants, because the knees are particularly prone to freezing. Aryan's mom always makes sure that Aryan wears enough clothes, because without proper dressing, the cold will reach deep inside your bones, threatening your life. She also makes sure that his face is fully covered, otherwise the exposed part can get frostbite.
Ondan tımnı vayıga olur bütün öğretmenlere ıtarbıt bilen durur kutallak bulladı. Boğav tibittu, tibetaktu. Olihin bollana qasbiddi terapeutin bir oldu var tımnıga ıtargar kuttanar.
The temperature outside is so cold, so the moisture immediately forms little icicles on his eyelashes. 10 minutes in the fresh air can be enough to cause fatigue, stinging pain in the face, and long-lasting aches in the fingers and toes. But little hardy Yakuts knows how to fight the cold. But after a few minutes, the icy weather begins to assert itself forcefully. Aryan has been on his way for 10 minutes already, and now the 9-year-old Aryan is freezing. Luckily, the last few meters are left and Aryan is finally at school. Aryan arrives in time, and there are already many children who have also arrived by foot. Aryan is studying in the 3rd grade of primary school. The primary school lasts 4 years, and in Yakutia, education lasts 11 years before going to university. There are about 8 students in the class today, and 5 hours of daily studying begins. Today they have math, literature, art, geography, history, and languages. Yakut people study 3 languages at school: Russian, English, and Saha. Saha is the mother tongue which belongs to the Turkic group and is totally different from the Russian language. For daily life, studying and working, knowing the Russian language is essential. After the first 2 lessons, it's time for a second breakfast. Today's menu is apple and eggs. Eating regularly is essential to increase energy in the cold winters for little Yakut. After breakfast, they play indoors. The temperature is too cold to play outside, and after all, it takes too long to dress up again.
Мен осколага солдер бун хевелибин. Хама хевелиб предметим физкультура. Того детер мен онно эрчилебит, байынергерчилебит, хүйребит, оннюбут.
Usually the classes end at 2 p.m., but today Aryan finished a little earlier. Now he's on his way back home with his friend, and like kids all around the world, they can't ignore the local snack shop. Everyone likes ice cream, and Aryan and his friends are no exception. They love sweet and creamy frozen ice cream, despite the extreme cold. Aryan and his friends on their way home are playing little games and having fun. Parents are not worried about their children. It's a close-knit community. All the locals know each other, and there are about 800 people in the whole village. Almost all the houses are made of wood. Each resident burns more than 60 cubic meters on average every winter. For the house to keep warm and to protect the house from the freezing air, they make sure to fill every gap with oakum or snow, but still, the cold finds a way to come through. Wild Yakutian horses are also neighbors in this icy land. They have thick skin and heavy hairy coats and are able to effectively forage in the snow for vegetation to eat. The Yakutian horses can cope with temperatures down to minus 70 degrees. Aryan is back home and ready to help his father. Most men in the village are engaged in the cattle breeding, hunting, or crafts, same as Aryan's father.
Мен хеттис каластан быхата эме бу уханагдан жарыктанабын. Неме мигин кыраддак мене Александр Ильич Уаров тен учуталым. тутаныланы та мүеретті де такаян бұл кие қара болы хаджабын. Бәйен білеген бұл темирінен жарықтанабын, үліхүйен тұран. Бұхақ, қомуыз, оңыры бұд. Тәхім бір қазбей дерки туғыр хатықтақ, күтчауыта бұхақ, күтчауыта те ехет қомуыз.
Kirill Petrov is well-known craftsman in Yakutia. Kirill makes traditional Yakut knives. For many centuries, knives have played an important role in the lives and the culture of Yakut people. Yakut knives are well known around the world for their strength and beauty. Aryan's father is teaching him these traditional crafts that has been passed through the generations. The blade is traditionally forged from the locally sourced iron ore. The knife handle is made from birch wood, which is extremely strong.
Мен ағам күрдік ұс болау.
Another of Aryan's daily duties is to chop the firewood. Aryan knows from early age that daily work is necessary to survive in such extreme cold. Now it's time for lunch and Aryan is always here to help his mom. They are preparing a Christian carp fish which his dad caught in the river. People love eating fish and meat in a frozen, boiled or fried state.
Тонти билген үйөнөрө калам барамыт, ол бүтүн оттон өрө тутан кене же хаамай били илиби татакпы бола хижер. Маскай таачыбыт, кар күддәчибит, меха көмөлөр, балык растырын, еген хүддан хүгүлүр. Оннор меген бал астасты каден де меген манны ыккайын туран иккен бирге асастыбыт.
After the work is done, Aryan rushes to the toilet outside. In Yakutia, there are no indoor toilets because the pipes freeze easily. Everything happens outside is done very efficiently, and no one spends more time than necessary out in the cold. This fish is Aryan's favorite. It's so tasty, and the most delicious fat and nutritious part is the fish raw eggs.
Balığın birini her. Mikir pun punya hiri.
Ya kan orada pada. Betul ki hangi barang dia ürün. Bu тыйыстымны дойдуга хака хиргер. Химби тугара хата таққана тугара бугтан. Тугара буглаққана ра хаврагор. Ахир гудуккон.
Fishing and hunting are important sources of food in Yakutia. From early spring until the autumn cold, the Yakuts are eating fish. Aryan loves fishing with his father. At the beginning of March, it's the perfect time for Kiun, which is traditional ice fishing. Using their rods and nets, they start fishing. Aryan loves spending time with his father in nature. They are fishing, hunting, and working hard to survive in this extremely cold but beautiful land, Yakutia. After a few hours, finally, Aryan has caught the fish. You don't need to worry about bonking the fish because in just a few seconds it's shock frozen. Life in Yakutia can be difficult, unpleasant and dangerous, but we have learned how to live in harmony with Mother Nature and we appreciate the nature, treasures and gifts that surround us. We can always find a beauty even in this extremely cold climate. After all, there is no such thing as a bad weather, there is just weather and your attitude towards it. Sunday, 10 a.m. in the coldest village on earth, and 9-year-old Aryan is still sleeping. But he must get up. Aryan has no time for rest. Weekends are the busiest days in Yakutia. Nature calls. Aryan rushes to the toilet outside. After 7 months of the dark and cold winter, finally, spring is here. The seasonal temperature drop in Yakutia can reach 100 degrees, from -70 to +30 degrees in the summer. Even though it's only 3 degrees out today, Aryan feels that the summer it has already arrived. Aryan's mom Lyubov has already prepared a simple breakfast: Yakutian pancakes, cheese, cookies, and buckwheat, Aryan's favorite. After breakfast, Aryan and his father are now feeding their dogs with raw meat. Sunday is the day for showering, and the first of Aryan's duties is to chop the wood for their family's bathhouse. They don't have running water showers, so instead they use a bathhouse with a heating stove and a steam room for showering. Aryan is the youngest son in the family. He has 2 older sisters, but they are studying in university far away from the village. So now he is the only one who is helping his parents. Look how much wood they need just for one shower. It takes them about 5 hours to heat a bathhouse. That's why they only able to shower once a week. After the fire is on and the door is closed, it's time to find water for a shower. For showering, locals buy lake water from the waterman Grigory. As he drives around the village, Aryan and his family hang up a red flag as a signal to order water. Grigory sells lake water that he collected from the lake nearby. Locals use it for their daily necessities, but it's not safe for drinking. Aryan pays Grigory about $5 for 3 barrels of water.
Otobanın jiginen qarbıtın da uloqutun höbeteräri bu oyurdaq ma bolan bir hiyemegen tühenke kıyan tuttu var. Olayım bunları mandık kıramıt. Örübül ayı uğutuktara var hem bir. Bañiktana tanga suya manık.
Meanwhile, Aryan and his father Kirill are arranging the ice they harvested in November from the river nearby. Digging wells is too expensive in this part of the world due to a thick layer of hard permafrost. Besides, pipes freeze during the long winter, making ice the cleanest available drinking source.
Bihigan hayın ihrubutun qahanabut mannakanamut Aryan ola bu karadaqtan ho hajawut manna mejje üretebet taqa kiyita imbitiga kiyita utun qachınıqtaq mahan qachınıqtaq endetun.
Another Sunday duty is to shovel the snow in the yard. It's important to shovel the snow away in Yakutia before it starts to thaw. The ground is solid ice all year round, and all the snow melting can cause big puddles in spring.
Başlayalım.
Aryan dutifully pulls the sled, which weighs about the same as him, happy to help his father.
Kımudu hunebe pon qarbet her. Onda gayatan haskı badaranı kıçıtarı bu kahvajat.
After the work is done, Aryan is finally having a little break. From early spring until the autumn cold, Aryan and his father spend most of their time in nature, fishing and hunting, which makes a large portion of their food.
Kuz hangatın içiktebin, men ığmayın ketehebin, andılaqqa kustu var bıtın.
Arya,
Ha?
bir takarın.
Biten?
Hala kırık barbatın da kadar.
Bugün baraya mı ha?
Çok kadar.
Now, Aryan is heading to his grandparents' house, Isabella and Radomir, who you might have seen in our previous video. Aryan and his family has been living in this village for many generations. It's a small, remote village in the southwest of Yakutia. There is no crime, no police station, all locals know each other, so parents are not worried about their children. Aryan's grandparents are engaged in cattle and horse breeding like many locals in this village. Tending animals in this severe climate requires hard work, so Aryan often comes over to help. Since ancient times, horses were key for communication and keeping people in contact within Yakutia's territory, which is 6 times larger than France. Aryans love spending time with horses. Before he leaves, he gives them one of their favorite treats, sugar cubes. While Aryan was helping his grandma, Isabella prepares a treat for him and his parents, a few bottles of fresh, homemade sour cream.
دويشين بطريان إيه بطن من وليان بداني كلن كملهم برر قهانمت وبهلا راحتار هلقل راحتار قاربتين كلن كجن بيرر كلن أبرر كملهم.
Aryan loves skiing during his free time, and in just a few days he has a school biathlon competition which his parents are helping him to prepare for. Kirill and Lyubov are supporting Aryan in everything. Every weekend they go skiing on the frozen river nearby.
Bilemen koram da. Aha, tutun ya alan hüdden gelin. Cam min gördük de. Ağları. Cam. Gör bu aska bu man bachana ka birbirine ayo tur gete atin. Cak tak. Bilin tu tak. Utigen anda tabak naz wa alan kalam barang. Tan korok nadan tun.
The weather is warming up for the spring. Yakuts are spending as much time as possible outside in the sun. Arvian's family loves cooking outside during spring and summer times. Every Sunday, they have their own little tradition of cooking in a large cooking pot. Today, Lyubov is cooking beef with vegetables. Yakutian cuisine generally relies on meat, fish, and dairy products. Since the ground is frozen solid, it's impossible to grow fruits and vegetables all year round. Therefore, Lyubov is using frozen carrots that were ground during the short summer in Yakutia.
Onu olsun ötü bir tığağa olarınca manın şu eddak olaydı. Kaham bağırdın tane beğen talgi hagar takanı. Anlık astanağın. Örevül kurdu boba da hınyalan kurdu boba kaca bile. Ülen kenditten kassa hoğuk barna oluq. Uspeyde xınada jeb kurduktan suunan bañıktanan. Tahar jahan ol bıhırıcı. Oğa butun yetçiyen jeb kurduk.
While Lyubov is preparing lunch, Aryan and his dad are busy making vargan, which is known in Yakutia as a hummus. Aryan is inspired to be like his father Kirill Petrov, who is a well-known craftsman in Yakutia. Yakutian vargans are made of metal and rely on a rigid metal frame and a small metal reed which players flick to create vibrations. Firstly, they make a perfect hole in the metal form that Kirill had prepared earlier. After it has a perfect frame, they start making the reed, which must be elastic in order to produce a good sound. Then, they make a slot for the reed using a saw. It's necessary to try fitting the reed regularly as it must be directly between the arms of the frame. The vargan has been used for centuries in Yakutia in shamanistic rituals to induce trances and heal sickness. Moreover, almost all cultural events in Yakutia start with charming hummus sound.
Tabi hibiligin turgunan hakakomu andidga amay bastignen eteller. Hakakomu hem tir, hakakomu harangachılır, hakakomu archılır. Komus bolgana katalanmatı astaq. Hem bir uratı kinandı da hoğutak bolur qaddaqtan en oңор ikkis komus hatan ki hatan ücükten oңор bat. La jadi. Tamamen kadar aja. Atanda da. Üre. Se. Tıkın diyak da evet. Müce mamını yine kaldır.
Finally, after 5 hours, the bathhouse is heated to the right temperature and Aryan is ready to shower. First, Aryan goes to the steam room where temperatures reach up to 70 degrees. Because the temperature is so high in the steam room, Aryan comes back out very quickly. After leaving the steam room, he starts washing himself with the lake water that he bought from the waterman Grigory. Meanwhile, Aryan's mom Lyubov has already prepared lunch. The air is filled with rich smells of Lyubov's cooking, the smell of delicious juicy beef. Aryan and his father just can't wait to have some delicious food. The whole family gathers together to finally have a little bit of rest and enjoy their food after a long days of work.
Maren ejiğin eriye hecib tarba. Ejiğin. Böyle oğulubut YouTube'un var bitta. Ontukon 14 milyon просмотр болуп жери.
14'te.
Kıram. Tabileyim onu.
Allah oyundağına. Öpteydin de oldu.
Bastan kaskana kadar bu kastı da bu kusteyle de rok kaskanı var bu. Hey bereket.
Bu kağıt hangada?
Every summer, like the roses, childhood returns, full of warm memories, but gone too soon. In Yakutia, summer lasts only 3 months, so every day Aryan and his family are getting the most out of the long-awaited hot summer days. Aryan's older sisters are finally back home for summer holidays, and now the whole family reunite to enjoy the beautiful summer days full of simple outdoor pleasures. However, the summer in Yakutia is not only for relaxing, but it's also the busiest time of the year. Starting from the end of July, Aryan and his family are harvesting all kinds of wild berries to eat throughout the 9 months winter.
Şöyle.
Mini hidim tollu. Ayını tolbata da. Bakayda.
Another very important task of summer is hay harvesting. It's an essential part of every Yakut, and it has become a part of Yakutian culture. Since ancient times, Yakut people were engaged in cattle and horse breeding, which helped them survive the severe climate. So every summer, Aryan and his family work hard to harvest all the hay they will need to feed their cattle for the winter months.
Oturbun ömrü kabulüyün. Tağa yeter. Bir kömeli hebet. Min de bay kömeli hebet. Köyüne naktır kıstıları kurduk ana. Bir nakka elbek ot. Barınar.
Despite the 38 degrees heat, mosquitoes, and heavy physical work, hay harvesting is about families coming together to help each other. It teaches us to be fully engaged and present in the moment, away from machine and worries. And I miss it so much. After the long and heavy work under the burning sun, Aryan and his family excited to jump into the nearest lake to enjoy cooling water. During the summer, Yakutia turns from a snowy kingdom into a lush meadows full of dense forest and peaceful lakes where the still waters reflect the beauty around it. Yakutia is also often called the land of rivers and lakes. There are over 700,000 big and small rivers and 800 lakes that are rich with the most tasty and fresh fish. Aryan loves spending time with his family in nature. From an early age, Aryan and his father spent most of their time in nature, fishing and hunting, which makes a large portion of their food.
Tabu bihiga unan hajan hama hevuli jarak bu var hayan. Spinin tamnaman na hınyan avut, aranji avut. Bayana beristagana balık yetçivit. Bu azart bu kaptagana adrenalin den buharanlar. Ama işe tuğ jarak ba. Os kuyağı, takuy dugu. Onu manırın alan körüğü.
Despite the fact that the 9-year-old Aryan is an avid fisherman, today he has no luck. But he doesn't give up because he wants to be like his father.
Sarıtta bildi.
Yani bilmez de var bana.
After a long day, now it's time for dinner. While everyone is busy with their chores, Aryan with his deft little hands masterfully is cleaning fish.
Oh, Coldest. Aryan loves cooking, and fish is Aryan's favorite food. Today is going to be fresh perch soup with vegetables and herbs that has been caught in the river. Now Aryan and his family are having their delicious dinner and enjoying every single moment of their life. And there is nothing like eating fresh Yakutian fish by the river with your family. Sometimes we can make life overcomplicated, but it's important to remember the value in the simple things, the beauty of nature, the love of our family, and quiet, peaceful summer nights.
Marin nigo nyok tayo. Itinin Allah tak ni hamil. Kare? Ayu aja cibu do bolamın bordo doyduga uları gelbidin kereni yürünü belektir bağattan uyrantıları ne yakanığım Kanada bollar bınılığım Mintinaktılar bine yakanığım Kanada bollar bınılığım Mintinaktılar bine yakanığım Döndürüre bari sürükle yüreği Doyum doyup bari dolamın konunu Ürdük tas kayanı kalındı oyuru Kanlıkta çok emeri sürükle yemin Kanada bollar bınılığım Mintinaktılar bine yakanığım Kanada bollar
It's 9 a.m. Aryan and his family are getting ready to go traditional ice fishing, known as munha. This year, the ice fishing fell at the beginning of November, just before the start of the long, severely cold winter in Yakutia. Although it's only minus 15 degrees Celsius, Aryan and his family will spend the whole day outside, so they must make sure to keep warm. Today is a big day in the village. It's a day when locals are hoping to catch several tons of carp to stock up for the upcoming winter. Before the munha fishing can begin, the leader and most experienced fisherman performs the ritual of feeding and appeasing the spirits of the forest, animals, and hunters. In order to survive in the cold, icy winters, Yakuts needs to work closely together to gather food, and this is how munha was formed. Munha is a traditional and innovative form of ice fishing that has been passed down from father to son for thousands of years in Yakutia. Locals get into teams of up to 10 people, and they each have different jobs. One of the strongest men prepared 2 large holes in the ice in which to place the net.
Ütümäkten attılar onu tuğan yapıdın nara olacak. İnce nasıl?
A series of small holes are then made between the 2 big ones to allow the net to be pulled from one end to the other using sticks with hooks. As a result, the net runs along almost the entire perimeter of the lake, guaranteeing the biggest catch.
Gel.
The main rule of munha is that no one should stand without work, even if it's a child or woman. Munha itself has turned into a mass festival and celebration. Everyone is excited and enjoying the last warm day outside. The boys are wrestling, called hapsagai, the national sport of Yakutia and a big part of the culture. In Yakutia, every boy wants to become a strong wrestler. Now it's time to eat. Today's menu is nutritious soup with fresh meat and potato. Eating regularly is essential to increase energy in the cold winters for hardy Yakuts. But there is a rule. People who have been to a funeral within 40 days and pregnant women are not allowed to go ice fishing. The locals explain that the nature can feel their tense energy and so does not share its gifts. Now Aryan's father Kirill is preparing wooden sticks for Aryan and his wife Lyubov to use in the water. Fishing under the ice demands a lot of effort and coordinated teamwork. At the head of a large team, there are Muncha masters who know the terrain well and indicate the best places to cut holes. Here, the youngest fishermen use their long sticks in the water to make the fish move towards the net.
Munka hajarutan yuran katan turaman. Marilar yara kadda mardam narga. Ona munka dian bu itu uga hitar kati. Ejda hü ile yuri kati ayil kaga hijji. Jalla nubalar bu hunkenin nanan.
Muncha fishing needs responsibility and careful planning, and it's extremely important for villagers. When the time comes to pull out the net, it feels like time has stopped. Everyone holds their breath in anticipation. Luckily, this year has been great for fishing. This is a perfect time of year to fish muncha. The carp has already gained some fat and becomes especially valuable and tasty. Traditionally, ice fishing begins in early November in Yakutia, when the lakes are covered with a fairly strong layer of ice. But due to the rising temperature in Siberia, the ice this year is not strong enough to hold dozens of people, and it's quite dangerous. The best part of the muncha fishing is sharing the fish. It's equally divided between all the participants and also with neighbors who did not take part in the fishing. In order to protect the lake and keep balance in the ecosystem, they will not fish in the same lake for 3 years. After a long day, tired but happy, Aryan and his family are ready to return home.
Jag har passat den. Han har hus. Jag någon säkert Gosse. Gosse dit.
As you already know, Aryan loves fried Christian carp, which is lovingly prepared by his mom, Lyubov. The life in the coldest inhabited place on earth can be tough, but as you can see, it's filled with love, light, and joy.